Tuperos y tuperas, and today on Dupe by the River, we're going to recap last night's debacle against Inter Miami. I know we don't want to talk about it, but we have to. We're also going to preview our CCL match that is just literally 2 days away down in Atlanta against Atlanta United. We have a special guest going to be joining on with us for that as well. So don't you dare go anywhere and miss this episode of Dupe by the River. And let's get this started, guys. Hey, done it! And that is right. Welcome, everyone, to Dupe by the River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union, brought to you by Philly Sports Network. Before we move forward, ladies and gentlemen, first off, hello to everyone tuning on in, whether you're coming from YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or TikTok. Thank you so much. Truly means the world to all of us here. Quick reminder, guys, later on, if you want to re-listen to this or, you can't listen to the entirety of this, it's all good. We have this set up for you to listen to wherever you stream podcasts. So from Google, Apple, Spotify, make sure you listen in on there, subscribe, leave a little rating as well. That would truly mean the world to all of us. Today, guys, it's just me and my man, Tim Lovinguth. Justin Freiberg is taking the night off. He's been doing hard work for us lately. And of course, he was doing his thing last night at Subaru Park. So Tim, it's just you and me. It's like the old days, man. How you doing tonight?
It's a blast from the past here. No, I'm doing all right, man. It's always tough after a Union loss. I mean, this is the first regular season Union loss we've seen at Subaru Park, but for the Union, the first regular season home loss since 2019. So it's at home, I should say. No one come at me for that. They lose last year. I know they lost last year on the road. But yeah, no, it's good to talk about the Union, and we'll talk about this game and the reason why the Union didn't come out on top for sure.
Yes, sir, man. There's a lot to talk about with that game. We'll definitely get to it. We also, again, ahead of the Atlanta United match, we have a special guest to come on and preview that match. You do not want to miss that really special guest that we're going to have on there. But no, I'm excited. We're talking Union soccer. Tim, we're in full swing of our podcast here. We have matches now twice a week. I'm sure we're gonna get a lot more of that as the season goes on. But before we get into the Inter Miami match, kind of wanted to just touch upon what happened off the pitch in the stands. Kind of a tough night for all of us, Union and Miami fans, to be honest with you. So listen, last night it was definitely good to see a different fan base that was there. We haven't really seen a lot of fan bases due to COVID and whatnot, but I will say this. So if you sat in the Rivers End, you saw right across the stadium in section 118, you saw about 50 to 60 Inter Miami fans standing, like if there was no pandemic that we just went through. But hey, listen, they go through, they are allowed to do that in Florida, whatever. You're allowed to do that down there. Up here, it's a little bit different. The frustration from where I got from that was the fact that all of us have to be socially distanced. I'm okay with being socially distanced, don't get me wrong, but it is kind of unfair when they are allowed to stand one next to each other, and we are kind of really separated on the other side at the Rivers End. There was an altercation where a male Inter Miami fan bruised up a female Union fan, which of course we all know that is definitely not okay. There was just some racial slurs being thrown around. So pretty much a lot of, excuse my language, shit show was going on last night at the stadium. I don't know if it was my sombrero that I wore. I have absolutely been nothing but positive interactions with the Inter Miami fans. The thing is that there was Vice City, who is one of the main supporter groups, the one that I know and I've been friendly with since Inter Miami came into the league. There was two other supporters group, and then there was just random Inter Miami fans. But the fact of the matter is, guys, there are dumb fans in every fan base, including ours. Any little thing that goes on in Philadelphia, the Santa Claus gets brought up. Michael Irvin getting booed on Monday Night Football all that crap gets brought up. But this is, we have to remember, guys, this is the MLS. We are a small community. We have to have each other's backs. Our community compared to the other leagues, other sports, it is really freaking small. So we definitely have to have each other's back. I really want to apologize and thank Vice City for clarifying things. Listen, it's all nothing but love. You guys are doing a great job down there. We absolutely love what they're doing. to Pete. I think he goes by PDK on Twitter. Quick update: him and his wife are fine. His wife, obviously, they're both a little shooken up. Obviously, she's bruised up, but I was able to reach out, and they seem to be fine. Obviously, it was definitely it was a life shaking experience for sure. But this is truly a lesson, Tim, and we all can learn from this. Both sides. We both of us need to find a way to do better, flat out. The racial slurs being thrown from our side, obviously, the lack of awareness in the pandemic, and kind of being a little bit too intoxicated and not having awareness of what's going on around you needs to be better as well, man. What did you think about last night, or did you have anything to add to last night's
I mean,
debacle?
it's a debacle, like you said. And nothing good came out of that. I mean, it's fine that Miami fans were able to, get tickets, come into the match, and support their team. They got to see their team get a hard fought win, against a good team from last year. So, I don't blame them for celebrating. I mean, obviously, when you take things a little too far and you're jumping over people and you're hitting people, when you're not aware of what you're doing, that's when it becomes an issue. And it was, it's an issue even before COVID. It's a major issue during COVID. That section over there definitely wasn't social distance. I don't know what security was doing over there. I've seen security all around the stadium, plenty of times last year and a little bit this year as well, telling people either move, separate a little bit, put your masks up if people aren't, following that rule, things along those lines. So I don't know what that was like. But yeah, it's a mess all around for sure. And honestly, part of it too, I saw some people talking about the one of the main ways that a lot of those fans probably got in is because Union supporters sold their tickets, and you have the right to do that if you can't make a game and whatever. But I always have an issue with things like this, especially right now with the pandemic, with there being such limited ticket availability for people. I think of people especially that work full-time jobs where you can't be at a computer at like noon when the tickets go live on whatever day they go live. And I think that there should be some sort of reselling, that would just go to those Union fans or other season ticket members that maybe couldn't, have access to some of that early access stuff that others did. So it's just a mess all around. Again, I have no issue with Inter Miami fans or any other fans coming into Super Bowl Park. But then when you disrespect other people, that's when it becomes an issue. And obviously Union fans throwing disrespect back in the way that they did using racial slurs is just awful. Like, it has no place in the game. I mean, we've seen players in Europe walk off the field because of racial slurs. Like, we wouldn't want that to happen here. Like, so we just need to not with that.
Oh, exactly. No, 100%. Exactly. I completely agree with you. Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, with the tickets, man, it does suck. It does suck. One thing I will say, for the Union, I would have said maybe, find a way to handle that situation a little bit better. That's also not a good look for us on TV. You see a fan base that kind of close to it's not like they were tucked away in the corner, right? They were kind of front row, section 118. So definitely it was tough. We don't want to dwell on this topic too much, but like fact of the matter is what we want to say, guys. Both sides definitely need to do better. And we're just really happy on this panel here that no one was really hurt. Okay, like no one was severely hurt. Hospital wasn't involved here. But like I said, both sides do need to do better for sure. Tim, well, we did have action on the pitch. It was an interesting night. First off, the blue and yellow, yes.
I liked it. Yeah, I'm for it. I know we were talking in our group chat a little bit about it before the match, and it was me and our friend Zach Labosa talking about how it looks kind of weird on FIFA. If anyone had seen that, they kind of showed that the Union had yellow shorts on FIFA with their new jerseys, and it looked weird when you played that way. It didn't really pop on in the game, but yeah, in real life, those things, you will see the Union when they wear those colors.
Yeah, that's why I was, when we first saw the whole kit, right?
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, this is cool, but man, I can't wait till everyone sees the yellow shorts. So
yeah,
definitely, it was cool to see. The other cool thing, though, Tim, the supporter shield banners.
Yeah, Yeah, supporter shield banners, love it. They
Yeah, let's
got
go.
some merch. Shout
Get
out to
the
the Sons of Ben for the
swag.
merch.
Let's
Um,
go.
yeah, I mean that was a cool moment. Obviously, whenever there's any kind of trophy and you want to see that team then celebrate it in their first game back, and yeah,
We haven't seen
seeing
we haven't seen too many of those either, Tim.
we haven't seen any of those. Aside from them actually lifting the fake shield when they won it. Yeah, seeing those banners being unveiled, and yeah, the fact that they're so proud of it that there's two right now. We'll see if those stay there. I thought it was kind of weird that there was two. I thought there might be one
Right.
off to the side, but they have the one on the Ring of Honor, and then the one on the wall where they like plastered stuff even over windows, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, no, it was a cool little moment, and it showed that what this team is capable of, and yeah, the play on the field didn't really live up to it,
Oh man,
unfortunately.
we'll get to that. I
Yeah,
do I do have a question. So I obviously you knew I was with Shouts to Cat Hat and Philly Sports Guy for hanging out with me for the night there. But so like on the side of our stadium, right? So when the roof, the white part of the roof goes like kind of curves in, right?
yeah.
What about if we hung banners from there? And that was a good point that Kata brought up last night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they could think about that. I'm fine with what they did, for putting it over on that wall. That one wall was kind of blank, and I know they put a huge decal on it now, but I thought they might utilize that side of it and just put something, a strip of something up there. SKC has something like that in their stadium. They have this big blank wall, and they've won Supporter Shields, MLS Cups, and Open Cups, and they have a lot of different things there. So I thought maybe the Union would do that. But hey, who knows? If this team can win something else, maybe there will be a banner flying on the rafters up there.
I'm trying to win a lot of trophies. I want a whole bunch of banners, Tim.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. All right. So on the pitch, right off the bat, I noticed Miami kind of came here to play. Like they remember what happened last year. They didn't like what happened either, both in Orlando and in Chester last season. They definitely came out here to play. It was 0-0 at halftime. First half, Union started off really well. 54th minute, Jamiro Monteiro ball was laid right there in the box rim, and he was able to get it past good old John McCarthy, or a former duper as well. And then you're thinking there, okay, Union looking good. Corey Burke gets in the game. First off, Corey Burke, I like the new fresh cut.
Yeah.
Yes, we're here for that, 100%. He had almost like it was like less than a minute in the match, and he almost had a goal.
Yeah, it was his first touch. It was his
First touch.
Yeah,
almost 2-0. It was great. And then the collapse kind of started happening. So 73rd minute off a cross, Gonzalo Higuain got hit the ball on his head perfectly.
Yeah.
Not much Andre Blake could have done there. It goes into the right side of the net. Tied there 1-1. All right, so you still got a point here. Let's just finish this game right here, right? Or let's go get that goal. But we're in a good spot. 10 minutes later, the other Higuain brother, Federico Higuain, on another crossing situation, kind of obviously Federico Higuain's a little shorter player, kind of got lost in that box, and he was able to get a header in that as well to put up Miami 2-1. Philly tried everything they could, but Miami, they were not going to allow Philly to even get a single point here, and we wound up losing this match 2-1. First time in MLS history, a pair of brothers on the same team score in the same match. So history was made in Chester last night. Everyone in the MLS was talking about this was the upset of the week for sure. We were not. It sucked him as well. So as we talked about off air, every night, my girlfriend's brother loves nightcap with Sports Center. They show the highlights.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the one time you want to put my Philadelphia Union on Sports Center, it's a freaking loss. What the heck?
Yeah.
So that was definitely tough to see. Tim, we got the same lineup, kind of, that we saw in the first three matches. Only real difference was you actually called this. Sergio Santos got the start instead of Anthony Fontana. I guess, Tim, look, just break it down to me, man. What did you see? How did they lose this match, man? We lost to Miami.
Yeah, I mean, so first off, all the credit to Miami. We talked about it in the preview pod. Their attack is legit, and if they can get into their game, they will have the opportunities to score. I think I looked. They only really had like 4 or 5 shots on goal. 2 of them went in on perfectly timed headers from the Higuain brothers. I mean, to dwell on that, I think a little bit. The Union just had those few defensive lapses that happen in games. They happen in every game, but you don't want to lose Gonzalo Higuain on a free kick. That's what happened. Leon Flock was on him, and he kind of got like it was a little tussle inside the box, maybe a little bit of a pick, but it was legal. Gonzalo got around him, wide open. He's not missing. He doesn't miss those. The ball was put on a platter for him by his brother. Federico was the one who hit that cross in. So I mean that right there, you can't have. I have more of a problem with the second goal that Miami scored. It was from one of their counterattacks, which is how they like to play. Obviously, in that point in the match, the Union had pushed numbers forward to try to get the win at home, and yeah, bad counter, lots of bad tackles from the Union defenders, kind of just running by the ball essentially to try to stop a cross that wasn't coming. And then when the cross did come, no one stepped up to block it. And Federico Higuain was allowed to run, it looked like 20 or 30 yards without anyone man marking him. The midfield was a little disjointed at that point. I know El Brujo was still in, but he was really tired. You could kind of tell in his legs later on. He was gassed. Anthony Fontana came in, but he was playing sort of the shuttler midfielder role. They didn't really switch around the formation that much. Jim didn't have them switch, so he was, he had a lot more work to do defensively. And on that counterattack, he wasn't there. So I don't know whose mark it was, but Federico was allowed to make that run, and he sat in between the two center backs as you're taught as a striker to do, and he's had a prolific MLS career of scoring goals, and the ball was put on a platter again. Center backs, were kind of going the wrong way, focusing on their marks. Couldn't get to him fast enough, and a little snap header from Federico goes in past Blake. And that, those defensive lapses are the things that kill you in games against good attacks, like Miami's. That's why we talked about it in the preview pod. It was mainly because, their attack is legit. Their defense was a little suspect. And on this night, their defense looked okay, but it was more so the fact that the Union didn't have a clear out-and-out playmaker to create attacks. They had plenty of opportunities to maybe connect a few passes in the final third. As we saw on the goal, they were able to connect a ball, after a deflected shot, they were able to connect 3 passes, goal, in the box. Perfect. That's what you want to see. But in the actual buildup from the Union, they were always, one pass short of finding that goal or finding that shot on goal. And that's definitely something that could be a problem moving forward. Luckily, this came really early in the year. I think the Union will learn from their mistakes on the defensive side, and on the attacking side, we'll see if Jamiro still starts as the 10. He is creative. I'll give him that, and he's shifty on the ball. But he's still better as a number 8, as a shuttler, as someone who will do a lot of dirty work running backwards, not so much picking up his head and looking for the pass. He wants to dribble. He doesn't necessarily want to pass. And the Union need a number 10 who can do a bit of both, as sort of what Brendan Aronson showed he could do last year. So they're missing that piece right now, and it's plain to see. But it's still early in the season, and that's what I'm kind of sticking with. There's still optimism around this Union team. I know we're not talking about the MLS game this coming weekend now against NYCFC, but you win at home against NYCFC and you have some other results go your way and you move up from 10th place up until the top 4. So I mean, it's still so early in the season that these jumps can happen. You just have to get play a little bit better, win the games. Essentially, it sounds simple, but I know it's not that simple. But this is what the Union have to do here.
No, I agree with you. So I mean, here's my takeaway from this match. We love to clown Miami. We love to come in Miami, right? But this is, like you said, there is still a talented team. There's a lot of freaking talent. Between Gonzalo Higuain and Blase Matuidi, the amount of important matches they have played in their careers alone. Mm-hmm. Rodolfo Pizarro as well. I'm going to put him in that too as well. He's played a lot of important matches in his young career as well. It's a good team. It was a battle of 2 good teams. I'm not going to say the Union played terrible either. It sucked to lose, but you lost by 1 goal. And really what it was, I mean, you got that 54th minute goal by Jamiro Monteiro. And then after that, like one after another, the momentum started switching over to Miami. And then Gonzalo gets that goal, and it's like, oh, crap. All right, mm-hmm. We got to gain this momentum back. And unfortunately, we just couldn't gain that momentum back. And Miami, they came in super motivated. I will give Gary Neville. We've clowned Gary Neville on this podcast before as well, and I will give him credit. He did a great job of getting his guys prepared. I will say, and I know you feel a little differently about it. I don't think we got enough production from the subs that came on.
Yeah.
Burke came on, like we said, for literally not even a minute into being the match. I mean, in the match, he almost gets a second goal.
Yeah.
But then after that, I felt like he got a little quiet. El Sino, we'll keep you up to date with that. It was really weird. He was out there for like what 10 minutes, if that,
Yeah.
and then Jack McGlynn comes on. So that was very concerning. Fontana played out of position. I'll give you that, but that kind of hurt as well, kind of, because usually, we know how we are. Second half, boom, El Sino comes on. Fontana last season comes on, and then it's like a whole other ball game for the team.
Yeah.
I will agree with you too. Like, I don't know why we didn't switch back to the 4-2-3-1. I saw it too. It looked evident that we stayed in that 4-4-2 diamond.
Yeah.
You switch that 4-2-3-1, you got some players that have a little bit comfortability in that type of formation. So definitely would have wanted to see that. Look, right now I'm okay for we're stagnant right now. If we get a couple draws, maybe a loss here and there, a couple wins, you know me, Tim. My focus right now is on CCL. After what I just saw against Saprissa, I'm down for a little run. So I'm actually kind of happy we lost to Miami last night, because you know what I'm seeing now, Tim? I'm seeing Jim and this team getting ready and fired up to go down in Atlanta and get some goals. You want to get those away goals, walk away the point, if not get those 3 points and come back here to Chester and let's move on to the next round. That's really what I want to see. And I know the Union put up the picture today of the guys getting on the plane. I like to see the morale. The morale seems to be good now. Like they put the loss behind them. You learn from the mistakes, and let's move on to Atlanta, man.
Yeah, I mean it's the Rocky saying, right? It's not how hard you can hit; it's how you can get hit moving forward.
Tim knows how to get to my heart. Rocky cliches. Let's go.
I put it in my recap article, which is why I'm still high on this Union team. It's a bad loss to Miami. There's no two ways about it. You were up 1-0. You should find a way to win that game. They let it slip through their fingers last night. But yeah, no, this team still has all of the pieces in place to still be a very good MLS team. They're one piece away from being a contender, I think, for the top of the East and possibly Supporter Shield again, and that is a true playmaking attacking player, whether it be a striker or a number 10, someone that can just connect the pieces a little bit more in the attack. But yeah, this Union team, they're going to go down to Atlanta and they're going to fight. And that's been the same, under Curtin since he's come on. He gets that underdog mentality into this team. And I think I agree with you. I think it's good that the Union lost this game early in the season. Last year, the Union, well, I guess they technically lost their opener to Dallas, but I know it was kind of a disjointed season because of COVID. When they came back from the COVID break, they didn't really lose any MLS season games until it was like August, September. They went on a long unbeaten streak there. And now they only drew and lost their, first 2 games of the season in what will be a normal season this year. So they still have time to get things together. They got hit in the mouth. Like, now they got to show that they can get up from that. And it's a busy week. You got CCL. Obviously, they want to do well in that, and their away leg. And I keep bringing up the league game because it's going to be a very important one against NYCFC coming up on next Saturday as well. But yeah, they went down to Atlanta. They're there now. And we get to talk about, Union versus Atlanta United in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, because that's where they're going to play the CCL game. They're not going to play out in Kennesaw. So it'll be, the atmosphere will be there. It'll feel like a big game because it's a quarterfinal.
Oh yeah, 100%. I will say too, the Union have to kind of learn how to play with the target on their back. I mean, let's face it. I know we don't win the MLS Cup, but dude, like, we won Supporter Shield. That merits some respect. Just the way we've handled our business on and off the pitch now, like, we're moving like one of the elites of the MLS. So with that, it comes a territory. Teams are going to be coming gunning for you. You saw it last night. Miami had this match. They had this match marked on their calendar. They were ready for this. It was kind of, back to your Rocky. It was kind of like Clumber Lang. Clumber Lang wanted a piece of Rocky because he's the champ. Miami wants a piece of us. And Miami this time won the round, and that's completely fine. We have to when we play Miami again, we got to get that Philly grip back. We got to get our eye of the tiger back, and we got to go get those 3 points and get our respect back. One another thing I wanted to ask as well, because you did bring up Brendan Aronson and you brought up
Yeah.
Atlanta, and every time I think of those two, I think about Guzan, his soul leaving his body. Um, but Paxton, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the casual Union fans ask me, "Where's Paxton? I hear this hype. Why is he not even in the 18?" What's your take on it?
And my take is that he's a 17-year-old kid coming up through the ranks. I mean, there's a lot of hype around him. He's going to be a good player. He's going to get on the field for the Union at some point and show his quality. There's no doubt in my mind. If he's anything like his brother, and people say that he's better than his brother, he will show that. As of right now, Jim Curtin has said there is a lot of competition throughout this team for the 18, the bench, and for the starting 11. Even as we saw, Anthony Fontana losing his spot, and he's a starter. There's just a lot of players vying for spots right now, and Paxton will get his time. He'll get called upon. There's a lot of games this season. 34 in the regular season, and then however long a CCL run happens. There's going to be matches for Paxton Aronson, and the fact that he didn't make the bench in this game, I think it's okay, because when you look at the Union's bench from yesterday, I mean, your attacking options off the bench were Corey Burke, Elsinho, and Anthony Fontana. Like, you could have maybe put in Paxton over Jack McGlynn, maybe, but what, I don't know. Paxton wasn't signed to come on and start right away. He's still a 17-year-old homegrown who is learning how to be a first team professional soccer player.
Tim, what were you doing at 17?
I was barely making my varsity soccer team in my high school. That's what I was doing. I was told to leave at one point. I was like, "Yeah, you won't get a lot of games. If you want to leave, you can leave." That's what I was at.
Dude, it's crazy to think. I mean, at 17, I was just trying to stay out of trouble, and where Paxton, like, everyone's all eyes are on the 17-year-old kid and wanting him to play. He's the most hyped up prospect in Philadelphia. He's more hyped up than Cam York. It's crazy, and so many. It's like I said, a lot of casual fans have heard about Paxton. They already know about his last name, and
Right.
they just want to see Paxton. And I'm telling you guys, like, I'm with Tim. I feel like Jim is just waiting for the right time. It's like a secret weapon, like just chilling there. He's marinating a little bit. When he comes on, I don't think Philly's ever seen anything like Paxton. But patience is a virtue.
We'll see. I mean, if he's developing as that, that missing piece that I talked about, that playmaking, attacking player, then yeah, if it just takes a little bit more time, I trust Jim's judgment and the coaching staff's judgment. If he's not that guy right now, I think they see him being that guy either later in the season or, maybe next year or something like that, if they don't go out and sign someone. Obviously, we had that little bit of news where the Union have now another international roster spot since the last time we recorded. So
right.
We could see them sign someone here before the end of May, I think, is when this window closes, or in the summer when that other international window opens again. So we'll see. But, Paxton's going to have his time for sure.
He definitely will. I wonder if there's another Aronson brother in the
I know there's an Aronson sister. We just need an NWSL team for her to shine.
Please.
Yeah.
The Aronson's taking over Philly soccer. He love it. He absolutely love to see it. Back to your point about the competition. Look, and yes, for those Eagles fans who are upset that Jalen Hurts is not named the starting quarterback, competition is good, ladies and gentlemen. And for this Union team, competition is great. When Jim Curtin said that there's competition for the starting 11 and there's competition for the starting 18. Oh my God, I got Union Hokey excited, man. Hearing all that, because listen, that's what good teams do, man. Because your spot is not guaranteed. It really is not. You got to come into every practice ready to work, give it your all, because your spot is not guaranteed on a week-to-week basis. And also, too, I mean, Jim, and I know we do criticize, and I've been critical as well. Jim not like changing up and being flexible with the tactics, with the lineups of this team. But, he has options. And it's that right there is a good problem to have. Many teams don't have that good problem to have. So
Right.
definitely good to see. We definitely have some depth. I want to see it all. I definitely want to see him use it all and change it up as well. And let's try the 4-2-3-1 every now and then in the
Yeah.
second half.
I really thought they were going to switch to it when Fontana and Elsinho came on at the same time. That was one spot where I felt like if the Union had a little bit more width with, people play, Elsinho is a winger, but then if you put someone else out on the other wing, you might have a little bit more space to connect some passes or get some crosses in at least into the box. But, they stuck with that 4-4-2 diamond, Elsinho playing as a second striker. And obviously he wasn't really even that fit. If he aggravated that injury, it looked like, maybe re-aggravating that calf injury that he had. Coming into the season. So we'll see what happens with that. And hopefully, Jim does switch up some of the tactics against certain teams, later down the road.
Yeah, because look, I get it. I mean, you punch the system down someone's throat until they can't stop it. But I mean, there's the films. I mean, the films on the tape, right? Like people can see this. People can study. People can find a way. Like I mean, Miami put a little bit of a blueprint together. Still, it's not like the Union played terrible. So
right.
The tape is out there. Teams can see what's going on. So for sure, we Jim needs to somehow find a way to switch it up here. So Tim, next time we will see Miami, we'll be down in Miami.
Okay.
July 25th.
Oof, it's gonna be hot.
Oh yeah, it is gonna be really freaking hot. DRV Pink Stadium, I guess that's what they're calling it.
Sure. I don't know. It's Fort Lauderdale.
Is this where the Fusion played?
I think it was. I could be wrong. I know, some Inter Miami fans or Kev who was on with us last time might be able to help with that. But from what I remember, I swear it was the same area at least. I don't know if the stadium was the same, but I think it was built on the same grounds.
Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. So right now, just real quick, I know it's a little early, but just looking at the standings here, tough loss. But look, 2 games in, Montreal is in first place. That should just tell you everything with the standing. So you got Atlanta United second. You got the New England Revolution in third. We have NYCFC in fourth, Inter Miami in fifth, DC United sixth, Nashville in seventh, Orlando City in eighth, the Columbus Crew in ninth. Obviously, your Philadelphia Union is currently sitting in 10th, TFC in 11th, Chicago Fire in 12th, FC Cincinnati in 13th, the New York Red Bull in 14th. And Tim, I don't remember the last time we were in the negatives in goal differentials, but we are officially in the negatives of goal differential.
Hey, I mean, -1 from 2 games, it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. Hey, look at that.
Hey, what's up, Kev?
That's awesome. Good stuff.
Good game, Kev. Good game.
Yeah, it was. It was a good game. Yeah, he was right in his prediction too. I think he predicted 2-1 on the pod.
Wow, that is so true.
Yeah, he was spot on for sure. One thing I will say about the MLS standings though is Montreal had to drop the Impact name to actually make an impact. I know it's 2 games in the season, but you just have to get that dig in there a little bit. And also, New York Red Bull, the only team in the East to not have any points after 2 games. So, all for that.
And they got Chicharito.
Yeah, they did. Chicharito had a hat trick against them today. That dude, he's looking legit. He's got 5 goals in 2 games.
Greg Vanney, man. Let's give him some credit, dude.
Yeah, he's a real coach. He's a good coach.
He is absolutely a real coach. We have a real coach as well.
We do. Coach of the year.
Hey, put some respect on that name.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Without further ado, look. So we're gonna move on here. So the Union, listen, no breaks are given to the Philadelphia Union. So we're back in 2 days, Tuesday night, down in the Mercedes-Benz Dome Stadium to face off against Atlanta United in our next round of CCL. And of course, guys, you know how we do it here. We're going to give you guys the perspective of the other side. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of my close friends and my brother, Mr. Mark Nicholson from Atlanta United Fan TV. My brother, welcome to DOOP. By the way, it's so good seeing you, man.
Oh, brother from another mother. Appreciate it, man. It's been so long since I've talked to you.
I know,
How
man.
are
I
you?
love the dreads, bro. I love the Fresh Prince flat top was great, but this looks even better, bro. I love it, man.
You know, in quarantine we were all growing our hair out, so I had to do
That's
something
very
different.
true. That's very true.
You got the Waka Flock influence, you, huh?
Yeah, it just it came in naturally, and so I just
It's
went
great,
ahead
bro.
with it.
I love it, bro. So, real quick before we introduce do your introduction and get into this game, I figured I want to show something to everyone. So, what we're gonna do right now, guys, we're gonna go back to year one of Duke by the River, and my man Mark was a serious trooper back then. So, give me 2 seconds, and we will get to this.
Oops, that
Oh wait.
got the survey there.
Yeah, there we go. Now it's loading.
I think I
this,
remember.
this is why it's a live show.
What is this? What the heck just happened? Here we go, guys. Going longer than we expected.
It's live.
I feel like
We're
the
doing it
payoff is gonna be
live.
worth it.
Baby. Oh, what the heck? That's not where I had it. All right, here we go.
Hmm. Oh man, memories.
I missed the brick wall, man.
I do
I
too.
know. Oh yeah,
Oh,
good times.
good stuff, guys. Good stuff. So yeah, so that was back in the first year of Duke by the River. Mark, and shouts to Pancake Poppy.
Of
And
course.
we gotta get Justin on here as well. Shouts to both of you guys. We're coming on. Did the little preview there. It's crazy how far we both have come, man. It's crazy, and that's why it's so beautiful. You were there year one, and now you're here in year three, man. I really appreciate you coming on, my man. Hey.
Absolutely, yeah. When you invited me, I was like, absolutely, yes. I was so glad you reached out to me. I would always do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, Pancake Poppy's now. He's part of Carolina. It's all good. Hey, listen, Carolina is always in his heart, man. It
Yeah,
definitely sucks, but
yeah.
you gotta we have to all understand for
We're
sure.
losing the real one. I'm kind of
Yeah,
sad about it, but
I know, man. Definitely, definitely.
has to happen.
So Mark, what's new with you, man? So how's Atlanta United Fan TV going for you, man?
It's going well. It's going well. Obviously like last year was weird, with the
Tell
pandemic
us about it.
and then personal reasons as well. So but we're back this year, I think it's interesting. I'm sure you guys can appreciate this, right? When you see the views and like how they fluctuate up and down, you kind of get a sense of the excitement from the fan base, and I feel like definitely early on, especially with the announcement of Vince as the manager, I think there has been some excitement. When we were talking about preseason and all that, and yeah, so I think we just try to build off that. At the end of the day, like I was just talking to AJ about this last night. Like I think we've established our brand at this point. Like, what you're gonna get from us. We're consistent, and so that I guess we were just trying to build off of that. But I think we're in a good place right now, and I mean, the team's in a good place right now, so that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I mean Atlanta United Fan TV. When I first started doing content creation for the union, like I was one of the guys I always look up to because you guys had like that great quality. It was very Euro style, like your Arsenal Fan TV and all that stuff. But you were doing it for Atlanta United, so you guys have always been like something I definitely look up to. I'm glad to see you guys are still kicking. It's tough with the MLS. You constantly see podcasters, YouTubers, bloggers come in and out. It's a tough industry. It's sports. Getting in sports is tough, but then you want to get
Yeah,
in the MLS. You
right,
must be crazy.
right. Right. Yeah, I know. I mean, I especially appreciate what you go through. Well, not go through, but in Philadelphia, you gotta really earn the respect. Especially it's a traditional fourth sports team
Yeah, man.
town. So I know you grind away, man. But I mean, it's getting
Hey,
there.
man, listen, I don't stop. I'm rocking the Phillies T-shirt, but I'm here
Right.
talking Union because this is a 5-for-5 city. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, so good stuff. So let's get to your team, man, Mark. So listen, Atlanta looks like they're back. It looks like y'all got that swagger back. He
Hmm.
looks pretty solid. I mean, obviously the draw against. I mean, Orlando's not what we all remember Orlando to be
Right. It's
either.
right. Right.
Got
Yeah.
to give him credit. But I mean, great win yesterday against the Fire. I know it was against the Fire, but it's
Mm.
great when I see Ezekiel Barco with the screamer on Sports Center top 10 at the #1 spot,
I didn't
baby.
realize it was number one at
Let's
first. I went
go.
back and looked. I was like, "Oh, that was the top play." Yeah,
Dude,
man.
even I,
Come
I
on.
was I was getting I was all giddy because I was like, MLS is on Sports Center top 10, baby. Let's go.
Right at the top spot. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man, that was great. That definitely great. But now, I mean, got you guys look like you're definitely back. So, kind of just tell us a little bit what's the difference between this Atlanta and last year's Atlanta?
Oh, well, last year, geez, man. I mean, at the very beginning, I think there was some optimism, but with the MLS's back tournament going 0 for 3, losing to Cincinnati, I think was a real low point. And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is bad. So, DeBoer was gone soon after that. And then the rest of the season, it was just, gearing up for the next season. I mean, like there was some outside hope of making the playoffs, but it was clear the quality wasn't there. Um, they it seemed like they were dragging their feet with the coaching search. In retrospect, what we learned is that they were courting Ante the whole time, and they said they gave him time. He said he asked for time, so it seems like they played that pretty well. But yeah, I mean, like I think that's a real starting point because from there, they built the excitement. They brought in Moreno as a DP last year. He's been bought down. He's a TAM player, but he's still starting most games so far this season. And then like bringing in Sosa, he's been as good as advertised. So I think it's been, there's been a lot of roster turnover this offseason, just like last offseason. But I think overall, we're more excited about the players that we brought in this season. And you can see why, players like Ibada. And then like you have players like George Bello and Miles Robinson who were there last year. But like they are young up and coming players, and they seem like they're really thriving. Bello getting up and down the left flank, from the left back position. Miles, he's a rock back there. And then we've just brought in Alan Franco, who has I don't think he's made an appearance yet. So I wouldn't expect him to play versus Philadelphia, but he's just he's an option on the back line, should make it even more formidable. So things are looking good in terms of the roster. Now, in terms of the play, I think that is definitely a work in progress.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so far so good, but I personally think that um, we just need to be patient with the process because it's going to take time. They've been fairly solid defensively. I think they leaked a few opportunities last night versus Chicago, who like Chicago seems like they're a team that's a really forward-thinking team this season. Um,
Not the Chicago we're accustomed to.
yeah, exactly. Not the woeful Chicago, right? So, but yeah, so Ante mentioned that he felt like the defense could have been better, but and I think they struggled a little bit versus Chicago in the early parts of the game. Breaking them down. Obviously they didn't score against Orlando. Um, versus Alajuelense, it was interesting. Going into the first leg, their manager felt like they might be at a disadvantage because they hadn't seen Atlanta play. And Atlanta really actually played pretty well in the first like half hour, 40 minutes of that match. And then after
Hmm.
that, there's the red card, there's the penalty that maybe shouldn't have been, and gets it's regular Concacaf stuff. But uh,
Yeah.
That's so
overall,
CONCACAF.
like yeah, like pretty solid showing, I think, especially for a first game of the season. And then in the second leg, I think Alajuelense were a little better. Atlanta didn't score until injury time, in the final minutes of the game. So I think that's where I say, it's definitely a work in progress. I think we keep the ball okay, but I think they're still learning the passing patterns and like really, to be able to play the silky one touch like quick football. I don't think that's quite there yet. So yeah.
I will say, Mark, it does kind of feel like with the hindsight hiring, like it feels like Atlanta's like, all right, we tried something with DeBoer. Let's kind of get back to what made Atlanta. Is that kind of like what went down?
I feel like it, yeah. And I think certainly the messaging from Eels and Bocanegra was trying to get back to what we were used to under Tata. So of course they're from the same coaching tree. Their styles are
Oh,
different to be
good to
fair,
know.
but Yeah, no, they're both Bielsaites, you know. So
So
uh,
is Tata getting a statue soon, or
I don't know. I want him to come back and hit the spike though, at the very least. You know,
that'd be
that'd be
pretty
That
nice.
cool.
would be really
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But
I have something for you for sure, and I think a lot of Union fans want this question answered. So did a little digging on your boy Joseph Martinez,
Hey,
there, and he's only played at most 23 minutes in a match this year. I know there's only been 4 matches, but is he anywhere near closer to full fitness? Do you think he's going to feature in this game on Tuesday, or do you think he's more of a hell of a super sub for you guys?
yeah, so I definitely think he'll feature. I thought he started the second leg for
Oh, did he? I
like
must have missed. Oh, he did do that. My bad. I missed that one.
no, well, but he didn't. But I think he came out at the 60th
speaking of
minute.
which,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and oh, what's up?
everyone say hello to Pancake. What's up,
Pancake
Pancake?
in the house. Pancake, don't leave us, baby. um, yeah, no, but he's the early appearances I think were rough. You know, it's like
Yeah.
you could see the rust. I think last night was probably his most encouraging appearance. He got about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
So you know, he looked sharp. He had a one shot that looked like it was goal bound. It was but it was blocked by the defender. So I think I'm gonna say he will be a sub.
Oh,
Um, Now the thing about Lisandro Lopez is that he's up there in age, so they can't overplay him either. You know, and he
right.
started last night. So, but I think he's probably still okay. I expect he'll get the start versus Philadelphia on Tuesday night.
Nice.
Philadelphia. Awesome, awesome, man. All right. So what? So kind of tell us like tactically how Atlanta's been shaped up this season.
So it's 4-3-3. Sosa plays at the base of midfield, and in possession, he often drops between the center backs. The full backs have been getting up the pitch.
No more
Uh,
three back sets.
yeah, yeah, right. Well, not initially. No, it might look like that at times, but
Okay, okay. I
not
know
too
you
much.
guys were so that was like one of the things you guys were so frustrated with the board, the three
Yeah,
back sets.
Yeah.
yeah, man. Oh God, I mean, so much of that was frustrating, but yeah, so you got Bello getting up and down the left flank. I would normally say Brooks Lennon would be at right back, and he's been having a good season, but he took a knock in
Mm.
last night's match. Came off at halftime. He posted a picture this morning. He had a like real nice shiner right
Oh, I
underneath his
saw
eye.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that looked painful.
that's rough.
So I would kind of be surprised if he plays, if he makes it for Tuesday night. And so that means maybe Ronald Hernandez at right back. Jacker came on last night. He's a youth player. So, but yeah, in terms of midfield, I would expect Sosa, Ibarra. Ibarra is like the box to box type, and
Okay.
then maybe Emerson Hyman at the tip of the at kind of that eight position. He likes to get into the box. I think he's best near goal, kind of like an extra striking option.
I like his
Barco's in
skill.
great form, and so I expect Barco to start on the left. You know, he's going to cut in. Lisandro Lopez at striker, he tends to drop a bit, and connect the lines a bit. So I think you'll see him link up. On the right, I'm not really sure who's going to start. It could be Jurgen Damm. It could be Marcelino Moreno. Um, we'll have to see. My guess would be Moreno because that's what he's been playing a little more than Dom. But Dom is another option off the bench. I mean, like one of
Yeah.
the fastest players in the league.
Shout to Jurgen Dom's TikToks, man. He loves Atlanta.
He's just loving life, man. Like,
It's great to watch. I love it.
yeah. He's just like he's like a kid out there.
It just
But
dude, it is great to see because obviously you guys treat Yosef like a king too. Like all these guys that come from around the world that come to these American cities and they embrace it. That's what you love to see, man.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly, and it goes back to what you were saying. Like kind of trying to recapture the culture that was there, under Tata and where we started out. So it kind of feels like it's coming back.
Justin's got some his tape, man. Damn should be starting but he's good off the bench for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, man. So Tim, so for us here,
Yeah.
how do you think we're gonna line up here? We just played against Miami yesterday,
Yeah.
and now we got 2 days. And we know Jim doesn't like to change up the tactics or the formations too much. So
Yeah.
what do you see here for us,
I
man?
mean, it's obviously going to be a 4-4-2 diamond, and I'd be surprised if any of the starting 11 are changed. I think maybe you could see Anthony Fontana come in at the 10, and you push Jamiro Montero back to the shuttler position, maybe move Leon Flock to the bench for some legs later on in the game. But it sort of depends on how the Union want to try and play after that loss. If they want to play a little bit more defensive, then you might see Fontana on the bench and Liam Flock starting in that shuttler position. But either way, I mean, we know what we're going to get from the Union now. They're going to sit back. Try to counterattack more so than be on the ball. But when they're on the ball, it's playing those triangles that they like to play in the attack, trying to get the ball into those open spaces. If they can draw defenders out wherever that space is, play someone in behind or out wide. That's their bread and butter. It's how they won the Supporter Shield last year. We'll see if they have the personnel to do it. 2 days after just playing a tough match. The Union, Jim Curtin has said that he doesn't necessarily trust all of his depth right now with all of the young homegrowns on the bench. And especially in CCL in the quarterfinal, in the spot that the club has never been in, this is, it has to be up there with one of the biggest matches the Union have ever played, up there with winning the Supporter Shield and their 2019 playoff win. It's definitely one of the biggest stages, if not the biggest. So it's going to be tough. Atlanta are a good team, and that possession-based team that likes to play the beautiful style of soccer. And when Atlanta's on, it's tough to play against, especially if you're more so of a counter-attacking team. If they can play beautiful and get those passes connected, you could be in for some trouble. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jim Curtin motivates the team, because at this point it's more so motivation than anything, because it's going to be the same players, the same formation, the same style of play. They're not really going to change based on how Atlanta is. They're going to try to play their style of soccer wherever they go now. So, yeah.
Yeah, Jim definitely likes to, he's going to throw this 4-4-2 diamond, at you, the high press, the fast pace. And the thing is too, when it came to Atlanta, I used to feel like I used to be scared every time we face off against Atlanta.
Yeah.
The speed that they had, especially down in the bends, the speed that they had, we could not keep up with it. But, fast forward now, obviously last season we didn't play each other, but the Union have a lot more speed than what it was even 2 years ago. Jamiro playing at that 10 role too, like he feels more comfortable at that spot. Now you haven't seen the other Jose Martinez, or I guess Joseph Jose is a little different, but you haven't seen El Brujo in action yet either. And he's oh my God, he's so much fun to watch. He is so Philadelphia. It's so much fun to watch.
He almost fought Gonzalo Higuain again last night.
I know you like that, Mark.
I did like
Oh my God.
That was great. Did you even watch last night? Did you even watch last night or hear about it?
What's that?
The Miami Philly match?
Oh, I watched the highlights. Oh man, you know what? Based on what I saw from the highlights, I thought Philadelphia was a bit unlucky. I mean, It seemed like Philadelphia were pretty much in control of that game. They were up, right? And then, you just get sucker punched on a set piece, and it's just annoying, So, I think maybe you guys weren't clinical enough, and also just a bit unlucky, So it is those that kind of thing is going to happen. Those kind of losses are going to happen. We'll see how the Union rebound now, right?
Yeah, man, and to turn it around real quick, the other thing too I do like is Jim. Man, he does not get his guys prepared, especially after losing last night, going into Atlanta. A place where historically we do struggle. I mean, a lot of teams struggle. Let's be honest, down in the bends. But also too, shouts to Atlanta. We don't have to go to Kennesaw to watch this match.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I was so excited so I'm actually going to be there, and
nice.
when I got the email that it's going to be at the Benz, I was like, oh, thank you.
So explain that. Why did you guys still play Kennesaw for CCL?
I think at that time there's events going on. I know, like in the past, it's been Monster Truck.
At the Benz, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like one of their, I think, highest. I don't know, most important clients or whatever. But, the Benz is like a new.
There's money Monster Truck.
Yo,
Are you
God, yeah.
serious?
It's in
Really?
Atlanta at the same time every year. A lot of people come out for it. Yeah, they used to have it at the old Georgia Dome. I actually went to the last one at the old Georgia Dome.
And it's like
Um,
packed? It's like 50, 60,000 or more?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It seemed like that many in the seats. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Shouts to Monster Truck, yeah.
But
Like,
the Ben's used for everything. Like they just had that Jake Paul fight here at the event.
oh, that's
So
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
so, but I think that's why there's always been a conflict of events. But like this round, typically, and especially, with the schedule they've had, um, this year, yeah, we're gonna. It's lucky, and this is a matchup that deserves to be at the Benz. Like first ever MLS, all MLS quarterfinal matchup in the CCL. And I think two teams that like play a really respectable brand of soccer, like for a league that like wants to showcase its best teams, like that's the whole point
Yeah.
of this competition. And so I think both Philadelphia and Atlanta would give, assuming it's Club America that would be at the next stage. I think either of our teams would give Club America hell. So
Oh yeah.
we'll have to see.
Yeah.
And Club America is like, give us the MLS teams. We're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Little
mean,
do they know.
they smacked us. Well, they smacked us pretty bad last year, but
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
that's
They
the
smack
boys'
a lot of
fault.
teams though. Yeah.
What one thing too about both us and you guys, like I feel like Atlanta and Philly have like a model that's kind of like been duplicated from like obviously you guys. It's clear like you guys have the South American flair, even
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
the chants, but even the way you buy players,
Hmm.
it's very South American of you guys. But for us here, like obviously our athletic director Ernst Tanner comes from Germany, and then you guys kind of have that flair here of that German soccer here in Philly.
Yeah.
Even our style of play, it's that German high press.
Hmm.
You want those fullbacks to be those good flankers. You create that attack from out wide. And just the way we treat our academy. The academy's been such a highlight for Philly over the last year. Obviously, selling Brennan and Mark McKenzie over to Europe. So it's Atlanta. And the thing is too, like you could do it the Atlanta way, and you could do it the Philly way, and I think both ways can win in the MLS right now, for
Yeah.
real.
And it's interesting to see that because you mean you don't see that in a lot of other leagues. It's buying the talent and maybe having a few people come up through your system, but it's never usually at that rate unless maybe you're Ajax or something like that. But
Right. Yeah. No, but I mean, like, I think the difference in spending is obvious. You know what I mean? And I
Well, you guys are also making money too.
yeah,
Mickey
that's
and
true.
Pity. Oof.
Right, exactly. That's a big part of the MLS model, right? But like at the
right,
end of the, like Atlanta are in a position where they can take those big swings. So like even someone like a Barco, like it still remains to be seen how that move works out.
yeah,
But it's not a huge hit for Atlanta if let's say they end up selling him for just what they paid. Even though like perception wise, like it may not look good, but they'll be okay. But and then you have teams who are at the budget level of Philadelphia who like have to go about it differently.
yeah,
And it's been a longer build, but I think you're seeing the fruits of that labor, and you're seeing that it can be sustaining. Like this is
yeah.
now, it's what been is it been 2 years or three straight years in the postseason now for Philadelphia?
It's been three. Yeah.
It's been three, right? And like one of the favorites to be in there again. So
Hmm.
I guess it'd be interesting to see, can Philadelphia take the next step of being
Right.
in an MLS Cup, even hosting possibly an MLS
Yeah.
Cup,
Hey,
Right.
hey, MLS Cup in Philly. Let's go,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
I'm throwing whiz all over that MLS Cup, man. Let's go. Let's go. One other thing too, like you know how I always talk about Mark, me wanting to be able to have soccer be bigger in Philadelphia. What better
Mhm.
way than just getting the kids in the area to buy into the
Yeah.
club and say, like, one day I want to be the Brendan Aarons. I want to be the Mark McKenzie.
Exactly.
And that is great for the on the pitch aspect of it and off the pitch as well, for sure, man.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, gentlemen, let's get to the nitty gritty here. It is time. Let's give the prediction what we think is going to happen in this match. Obviously, Mark is the guest. We will allow him to go first from the Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? The Atlanta side. What do you see happening here on Tuesday night in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium?
mm, mm. Ooh. All right. I'm feeling confident, but a little bit cautious. So I'm gonna say it's a 2-1 win for Atlanta. I think that, y'all get a goal late on, just to keep the tie alive. But I feel like I don't know. I just feel like we're gonna be ready for this. Last night's display from Atlanta was so encouraging, and still like could be better. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It might be like the playoff game. Remember?
Oh
Yeah.
man, no, don't bring that up. No, no. Mark, is Brad starting? Would he start? I should say.
Guzan.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Rocco Rios Nova is good. I think it's probably a little bit too early to talk about starting him.
Yeah.
But there may be a time where Guzan, like he might be off with the men's national team in the summer.
Oh,
So
okay. Good for him. Good for him.
at that point, like yeah, definitely start Nova. Like he's clearly the future, and any games that he plays for the first team now are really a bonus.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but for this moment, definitely Guzan.
Well,
Yeah.
well, Mark, I'm gonna let you know. Brendan's brother's on this team, right?
I did not. I did not.
No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, listen. His brother's name is Paxton. There's a lot of hype around this kid. Like we're
Okay.
talking like he's gonna be better than Brandon type of stuff. But for
Mhm.
right now, it seems like the Union are playing it safe with him. Like he's a
Yeah.
17-year-old kid, so we're completely okay with that. But I want to put a little fear in Atlanta. We know what happened when Brandon his first start down on the fence.
Okay, yeah, I was there. I remember. I had a
Oh
great view
yeah,
of that goal. Ooh.
I went crazy. I was like, "What? That was Brendan White?
I mean,
No!"
seeing Brad Guzan's soul leave his body,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
just
That was a great meme for a little bit.
it
Yeah.
still is. When it pops up, I laugh every time. It's great.
Yeah, I'm laughing thinking about it now. Yeah.
Hey man, that goal led to $6 million later, so we're happy for her.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Tim, what about you, man? How you feel about this match
I,
here?
I don't think it's to anyone's surprise that I'm not as optimistic about the Union's chances right now. I want to say that they push for a draw. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 2-1 Atlanta win. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I would be happy with it actually because the Union got that away goal and then they have to play in Chester and whole nother ball game. The Union are very good at home. But yeah, I mean, the Union fan in me won't allow it to be a loss right now. So after that loss to Miami, I'm like, they have to at least draw. So I have to say 1-1 is my prediction here for the pod. And I don't think it'll change. I think I'll stick with it. But I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta wins this game by a goal. But I think 1-1 draw is what we'll see here.
Right, no, literally, that's the result for the pod because I agree. I see a 1-1 draw. I think for the Union, obviously, don't get killed. Like, don't go down there and lose 4-1, right?
Yeah.
But
Right.
I'll take a draw. I'll take a one goal loss, but score goals. It's all I really care about. Just score those damn away goals.
Yeah.
And depending on what happens, I think the second leg is going to be more exciting than the first leg. So we'll definitely see. But listen, like we just mentioned, these are two these are two good models of growing a team in the MLS. Obviously, we still need some more hardware. You guys got 2 trophies over there. We're still trying to get our second trophy there, but no, it's going to be a lot of fun. And Mark, I think you can agree with this too. Like just the MLS representation in this tournament as an MLSer, you have to be ecstatic. Like we've never been in this point. Like we have all our clubs are still alive. Like
Right.
great.
And I feel like I've said this in the years past, but I really feel like we have a good group of clubs, like
I really
with
hope so, man.
Portland, with Toronto even. I mean, like we'll see about Chris Thomas, but like Toronto's always strong in this tournament, so like I don't know, man. Like could this be the year? We'll see.
Yeah.
I hope it's Atlanta though. No.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So if we somehow get eliminated in this round, as long as the MLS team can go far and finally just take the monkey off our back, man. Once that first team does it, it'll open it up for the rest of us, man. I believe this league can be the best league in North America, and I think we're very well on our way, man.
Yeah,
for sure, man.
The restructuring of the tournament is going to allow more teams from MLS to possibly be a part of it as well. So, if an MLS team can win it in this format, there's no reason they can't win it when there's more teams that are going to be allowed in.
Right.
Unless we go to a Super League.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Unless it's
Tim's like, no, don't you
unless
dare
it's-
bring that up.
the only way I do that is if Mike Thomas's Super League model is in here. We had him on. He explained an MLS and Liga MX merger last year during the pandemic because he had some spare time on his hands. So he's crazy. He put together what it would look like and how teams play and all this stuff. And I was like, it could work. But no, I don't want anything like that right now, especially after all that. No more.
Right.
100%. 100%. All right, Mark. Where can the beautiful people find the great work of Mr. Mark Nicholson?
I mostly appear on Atlanta United Fan TV. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. I don't think TikTok yet, but we're working on that. For me personally, you can find me at Twitter and Instagram at Nicholsodian, Nichollssodeon.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. Awesome. And quick heads up for everyone out there. Tomorrow, make sure to stay tuned on Instagram. I will be hopping on live with Atlanta United Fan TV to give the Philly perspective on our match tomorrow. So stay tuned. Around noon o'clock, we'll be doing it on live. So I'm excited. I'm excited to go on Atlanta United Fan TV. Last time I was on there, I was a little intoxicated. So it was. I'm sure it's top 5 episodes on Atlanta United Fan TV. So we will be sober tomorrow.
Yeah, well, hopefully.
It was great. Hopefully. You never know. Mondays, can go either which way.
Right.
Awesome stuff. Mark, seriously, man, I really appreciate it, man. I hope that we can keep doing this. I want to be able to do it like 10 years from now. We're like big in Atlanta, big in Philly. Be like, yeah, I remember my first time. Remember the second time. It's all about the memories, Mark.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the relationships you make along the way.
That's what I'm saying, man. We're MLS is a small community, but we got to stick together for sure, man.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mark Nichols, and that is my co-host, Tim Lovinguth. I go by the name of El Parcero Philly, and we're telling you guys to DOOP on. Beat Atlanta, baby! Let's go!